Hello everyone, here live at Rockingham Race Speedway for race number 8 of the 5 Points Racing Turnkey Network Solutions Series. And practice just wrapping up here. And now qualifying underway here momentarily. Jack Clemens was fastest in the practice with a 25.003 lap time. We'll see what he can do here. See if he can put it on the pole position here for tonight's race for the second time on the season. There are now drivers on the racetrack currently. We're going to be looking at Jack Clemens, who was, like I mentioned, fastest in practice here. Lap time should be coming in here momentarily. Clemens off of turn 4. We'll see what he does this time by. It is going to be J.R. Kidder goes top of the board with a 24.996. Clemens runs a 25.120. We'll see if Peter can improve on his lap time coming across the line. J.R. 24.996. Jack Clemens, now Zachary Thorne goes top of the board. Clemens stays the same as Eric Keeter now goes back top of the board. Zachary Thorne stays in second. Currently, 35 machine Aaron Brown coming off the racetrack right now as well. Malachi Drake goes up to 5th. With 25.055. As Aaron Brown racing into the pit lane, did not like his exit off of 4s. Jordan Kuntz on the racetrack as well. He's gotten pole one time before north of Wilkesboro, and he won at Iowa, so he's been really good at these short track type of racetracks, rocking him a little bit quicker than a typical short track, but still a really short racetrack compared to the rest of the schedule. Off of turn 2 he goes, down the back straightaway. Turn 3 and 4, he has to beat a time from Eric Keeter of a 24.925. Can he do it? Off of turn 4, across the line this time by, and yes he does, easily lap 1. He goes top of the board with a 24.911. Jordan Kuntz at 27, top of the board for now. Is Luke LaFar running his lap time currently as well at 25.2. He was in 10th place. He improved himself inside this top 10 for now. And yes, he does. He goes up to 8th, so a minute and a half left in qualifying. Douglas Newby, he's been really good on pole positions. He has 2 pole positions so far, and he has 2 wins this season. So one of the more competitive drivers on the field for now. And he thrown Jordan Kuntz for the top of the board. He runs a 24.987. That puts him inside the top 5. That puts him up to 4th, and he slides in turn 1. So he's going to stay in that 4th place spot right now. Comes down pit lane, so with 30 seconds left in qualifying, looks like Jordan Kuntz will win the pole here at Rockingham for tonight's 110 lap race. Also win a free paint scheme from Rev Limit Workshops as well. It'll be Kuntz's third free paint scheme, and he's gone pole every single time the past 2 weeks. He makes it 3 poles in a row. Dating back to North Wilkesboro 3 weeks ago. That officially wraps up the time being. The one thing to note currently, our points leader Aaron Brown not setting a lap time, so he's going to be starting 14th place for tonight's race, and track position is going to be very important here tonight at Rockingham. It always will be at short tracks like this. As we take a quick look at our starting lineup here for tonight's race. Just showed you Jordan Kuntz is going to be on pole position here tonight. Alongside him, going to be Eric Heater in second. Tiger Thorne in third, Douglas Dubig in fourth. Luke Peters fifth, Jack Clemens sixth. Malachi Jake seventh, Tyler Aspinall eighth. Luke Farrow ninth, Chris Sawyer in 10th. Evan Drake in 11th, Brian Perry in 12th. Charlie 13th, Aaron Brown 14th. Lucas Strayer 15th, Nicholas Iremans in 16th. That will round out the field here tonight. 8 rows deep, going to be starting here. 110 laps, actually 100 laps in total. Supposed to be 110, but it's only showing 100, so 10 less laps than scheduled. That is the Brett Metro 110 at Rockingham. Pace trucker coming this time by. Once again for the third race in a row, going to lead us to the green. Eric Heater along his outside. The pace truck pulls off into the pits. And we are green here at Rockingham. There's a bunch of wheel spins. Oh, Douglas Dubig already getting spun around on the restart. Tiger throwing around, and there's a big calamity out front. Aaron Brown sneaks his way through. A lot of junk cars there. Tyler Aspinall involved. Malachi Drake involved. Luke Peters involved. And a bunch of front runners involved already. Someone spun their tires early in through the gears before we even went green. Guessing they're starting too low of a gear, maybe first gear even. RPM just revved up way too high. And a bunch of junked race cars there. We'll go on board 33 machine as he went through it very cleanly there. Absolute calamity out front, so we'll see exactly what happened here in the blimp camera, but it looks like they were just in first gear possibly. Some of these drivers trying to get best as they can, as it happened up front near Luke Peters. Zachary Thorne actually spun his tires and pretty much caused that whole stack up behind him, and a bunch of drivers involved there. Aspinall gonna be done for the night. Everyone else looking like they're going to be fixing damage. It's not too badly, most of the drivers not too badly damaged, especially a track like Rockingham. They can definitely fix it up here tonight, but still early in this race. You'd rather have an incident like that early in the race than later. Kuntz still leads on lap 3. Him and Heater not really involved too much in that one, if at all. More of the second rail on back, so. A lot of fast race cars involved in that one early on. We'll see if they can rebound here. I believe we're going green this time by. Darren Brown already up the 5th place after restarting in 13th. Actually 14th, excuse me, on the initial start. This pace truck gonna pull on the pit lane here, and we'll see if we can get to the start finish line before they're wrecking in the back, in the mid pack, the front pack, pretty much everywhere on the initial start. Pace truck is off. Green flag is in the air. A little bit of tire wheel spin for Jordan Kuntz, but everyone else makes it through cleanly. It's out into turn 1 here for the first time tonight under green. It's Kuntz, Clemens on the inside, Aaron Brown already up to 3rd. Eric Heater falls down to 4th place and maybe down to 5th as Evan Drake to the inside of him. And the outside lane not looking very good here early on after 1 lap under green. Drake cannot be able to get around Eric Heater through 3 and 4. Gonna stay behind him in 1 and 2. And Heater gonna clear all around the outside. He stays in 4th place. The Clemens all the back bumper of Jordan Kuntz out in front. And looking at Aaron Brown already up to 3rd place already early in this one. He's behind them. Massive battle in the back here. Eric Heater, Evan Drake, and you also got Leo Simons and Chris Sawyer duking out here for round 5th. As Evan Drake gets in the Eric Heater, and Heater around he goes and gets collected by Nicholas Simons. Hard hitting outside wall for Evan Drake and Eric Heater there. I'm not sure Eric Heater really held on to the brake there in 3 and 4, as he also collects Evan Drake in that one as well. I believe they made initial contact in 3 and 4. Drake just sends in the 3 and 4. Was Amon? Actually, that was not Amon's. That was Chris Sawyer right there. And Eric Heater. They had an incident in Wilkesboro as well, I believe. And Heater just thought he was going to be clear. I mean, they kind of sent it pretty big time into the corner, but Eric Heater affecting him as well in that incident. So see what race control deems that as, but second caution already here on lap 9. It's going to allow some of these drivers to come up pit lane and take some of their damage as well. So about a lot of these drivers, Luke Farr, who was involved in that first initial wreck, up to 5th place. So a lot of these drivers are already involved in wrecks early on before the first 10 laps have even been completed yet. See how many drivers are pitting right now, currently fixing their damage. As we'll see how the outside lane fares here, as Eric lost a bunch of spots on that restart there, brought him back down to 5th place and kind of put him right next to the 81 machine, who was deemed at fault for that wreck, which sometimes just get put in a bad position there based off where you're restarting. We'll see what happens to Jack Clemens here. As an impressive run for Nicholas Ammons, right now up in the 4th place, currently sits in 28th in the points, so if he can have a good point stay here with all these mishaps from some of these front runners, he can maybe make up a lot of points, especially a lot of drivers not showing up here tonight as well. Nicholas Ammons on that 22 machine up here front early. We'll see if he can stay up here. His pace truck pulls off as green flag back in the air here on lap 11. Clemens with a bad launch there. There's a lot of tire spin. It seems like in these Xfinity cars, not sure how low the gear they're starting at, but Nicholas Ammons falls down the 5th place as Jack Clemens falls down the 3rd as Brown up the 2nd. Already on the back bumper, Jordan Kuntz for now. These guys running the inside line, right up against that yellow line on the inside, just kind of saving their tires as much as they can. Rockingham very hard on these tires, especially in these Xfinity cars, but to turn these wheels a lot to make the car rotate. Douglas Newbiggy was involved in that first lap incident. Now already up to 6th place. Zachary Thorne also up to 7th. He has not pitted yet, so he didn't fix his right rear damage that he does have a little tinted in, but shouldn't be affecting him too much at a track like Rockingham. Right now, we'll see if we can settle in for a longer run. He goes, as soon as I see that, Luke Lafaro sideways, harding outside wall for him, not able to save it, and that's going to bring up the 3rd caution here tonight. I believe Nicholas Ammons and Lafaro may have made contact there in the entry of turn 3. Ammons just overshot the corner there, kind of the same thing we saw with Evan Drake. Luke Fars was not able to save it just quite. He could barely get some damage there as well. It's kind of showing track position very, very important here tonight. Down pit lane, a few drivers appears still trying to fix some of his damage that he has. Pretty major damage on his right front, but the top 8 stay out. When these drivers cycle out, looks like Ammons is out pit lane. Faro coming out pit lane right now. Pierce still in pit lane fixing his damage here with Malachi Drake. Chris Sawyer there. Kuntz coming in this time has led every lap so far here tonight. As have not had a long run so far. We'll see if that can change here shortly as we go on green this time by. Now Brown will now start on the outside lane. We'll see what he can do. He's worked his way up through the field quite a bit. The most positions gained so far tonight has been Aaron Brown, Dakota Lee, and Lucas Strayer. Brown up 12. Only driver in double digits. His green flag is out. Brown out with a great restart there. As Clemens is going to be almost able to clear in the one. Not quite. Brown going to try hanging around the outside lane for now. And he will as they're side by side down the back here for second. Douglas Newby sticking his nose in there as well. Will he try to go the inside as well? He does. He stays in the bottom lane. Clemens now does clear it on the front straightaway. As his top four single foul for now. Zachary throwing under attack from Dakota Lee. Side by side off of turn 2 as a single foul back out. As here's Luke Farr, who's just involved in that other incident right before the caution before this one. And he's already back up to 7th place, so looking on the inside of Dakota Lee for 6th. I'm going to make up another spot for him as well. He clears a 3, and Luke Lufaro back up to the top 6 spot. Pretty much where he started before he got hit from Nicholas Ammons in the rear end. He's going to look for the top 5 spot on Zachary Thorin. Luke Lufaro currently on the 12th place in the points. I'm pretty sure on the outside looking in of the chase for now. He's currently he is in the wild card spot, but the last driver in is Luke Lufaro. So, good point save for him. He will be, as Jacob Thorin not here tonight, Ollie Reeves not here tonight, so he should make up some spots on those drivers and lock himself in and will be inside the top 10. Will not be a wild card driver. As behind these guys still battling out for around 6th place, Dakota Lee, Zachary Thorin, as Lucas Strayer, as here comes Luke Lufaro to the outside of Douglas Newbigging for around 4th. As most single foul throughout the rest of the field. Luke here is still hanging on with some damage. He's currently 3rd in the points. As Lucas Strayer gets around the Curly for 7th. As the top beats kind of in a group of their own. You got Malkovich right there and pretty much no man's lane around 9th. Trying to catch up to this main pack. Right now, everyone's just trying to run the bottom, save as much tires as they can. And some of these drivers in the back, like Luke Faro, have some newer tires compared to the drivers up front. He pitted last caution, took tires, fixed his damage. So that's why he's up here, being able to challenge for this top 3 spot here early on this one. As we'll see what he can do on this longer run once his tires actually start to wear out. They're around half a second slower than they were in the initial fastest lap as you look at Jordan Kuntz. Updates there. Yeah, there we go. So Jack Clemens' last lap was a 26.2. His fastest lap is a 25.5. So around 7/10 fall off so far, around 25 laps in this one. About only half of that was under green, so only 12 laps in the rear. Clemens on the outside wall off turn 2. There's still a big pack of cars here. 8th on back, first on back, as here comes Lucas Strayer to the inside of Zachary Thorin. He's going to clear for 6th, almost. Yes, he does. As Zachary Thorin falls down to 7th now. Kuntz still out in front, hasn't looked back since the initial start of this race. It's led every lap so far, all 26. They're a quarter of the way through already. I'm not sure what the fuel window will look like here tonight. It's 75% fuel, so I think they would have to pay at least one time in this race Right around lap 60 or so. And so here comes Aaron Brown to the inside of Jack Clemens. He was going to clear easily. As also Luke Fargo goes follow him through for third. Fargo side by side with Jack Clemens, and Clemens clears off of turn 2. And he'll stay behind Aaron Brown and his teammate. As Jordan Clemens now gapping Aaron Brown for now as he's pulling away from this pack behind. Same with Brown. Clemens kind of struggling a little bit on these tires compared to the top 2 drivers as he's around 2 tenths slower than Jordan Clemens and Aaron Brown. So Clemens may burn up his stuff just a little bit too much these last few laps. As we haven't really seen anyone run the outside wall so far here tonight. Really the outside at all. They've been just kind of running the inside. You see Zach going up there a little bit. Also, Curly behind him on the outside. But pretty much all these front runners just stay on the inside, saving their stuff. That might be the strategy for this race. There goes Aaron Brown out to the top side. We'll see what he can find, if he can find some grip up top. He goes back to the bottom. So here comes Luke Fargo to the inside. Jack Clemens behind him. Zach hits the outside wall at the entry of turn 1. Side by side for third. Clemens and Lafaro into turn 3. Clemens clears for now. Here comes Douglas Newbigin going to join the party here as well. As a lot of drivers now running the outside lane trying to find some grip as these tires start to wear out. The outside lane has some more grip up top. Looks like the outside lane not really working out too well as Douglas Newbigin now under attack from Lucas Strayers are side by side. Now got a good run off of turn 4. We'll try to use that to his advantage to the inside of Clemens. Clemens up top with the run off of turn 2. Down the back straight away they go. Clemens is now still clear of Luke Lafaro. Lafaro is yet to be able to get around that 69 machine of Jack Clemens. Clemens just defending very well on the top side. Lafaro just does not have the grip to get by him as that battling behind has allowed Jordan Clemens to pull away to about a second lead over Aaron Brown and the rest of the field. Clemens continues to run the outside lane, not allowing Luke Fargo to get by. These 2 drivers have pulled away as Lucas Strayer has slowly caught back up to these guys. He's really quick, one of the quickest drivers on the racetrack other than Jordan Kuntz. He has saved his tires pretty well up to this point, 37 laps into this one. As Nicholas Amons comes down pit lane. And scheduled stop as Aaron Brown getting under attack from Clemens and Luke Lafaro. Jack Clemens going to clear off for turn 2. Can Luke follow through? Doesn't look like he will. Slow car on the way there from Jack Clemens and some other company. That's Chris Sawyer right there. And a lap down. And major right front damage. Might hit the outside wall possibly as well. As Luke Farrow still trying to get around. Up third place spot. Oh, he gets in there Brown on the entry turn 3. Brown saves it. Just got a lot of Luke Farrow to maybe pick up a spot there. Little bump and run here. Action at Rockingham. And he's almost to clear around. Yes, he does. Will Brown repay the favor? No, he won't, as Luke Farrow now violently gets into the top 3 spot he's been looking for the past 20 laps or so. What will happen here in turn 3 and 4? Nothing much as Brown goes up to the top. Farrow stays bottom. Lucas sure maybe you're around there Brown as well, as I think pit stops will probably be happening here shortly. Probably the next maybe 10 laps or so. I'm not sure exactly what the fuel window is for these drivers. Or maybe catch up to join Jack Clemens up ahead. Looks like they're pretty much running identical lap times. The drivers kind of separated out here these last 5 laps or so, as Jordan Kuntz right now has a 1.3 second lead as lap traffic up ahead of Luke Peters as they're almost to the halfway point of this one. You can see the tire is really starting to affect these drivers, almost a second fall off for most of them, some of them even a second and a half as well. So far as closed the gap on Jack Clemens up ahead these last few laps. For this one being trying around Lucas Chair's lap traffic up ahead. Nicholas Salmon's, he has those fresh tires he pitted around 8 laps to go, so off fresh tires as Douglas Newbeating does get around Lucas Cherry here for 5th. Blue Far's gap is closing on Jack Clemens up ahead. Put a lead down pit lane here. Right at the halfway point of this one. We'll see some other drivers maybe follow suit. Especially those who have not pitted yet so far in tonight's race. We're halfway through this one already. 50 laps down, 50 more to go. Dan Brown also down pit lane a few moments ago. Into his pit stall there, just past halfway, so it looks like right at the halfway point of this one. And then down pit lane. See if anyone else comes down pit lane as well. As here comes Jordan Kuntz here down pit lane, lap 53. Will anyone follow suit? He's really locked it down there. You get a penalty for that one. No, he did not. He stays under the speed limit there. He's down pit lane, and Jack Clemens will now take the race lead for the first time here tonight. Ooh, almost some contact there. Jack Clemens and Nicholas Ammons. That was very close between the 69 and the 22 right there. Carl's gap has kind of stayed around the same for him and Clemens. Gustray got back around Douglas Newbegin. There he runs third for now, as the pit cycle could be coming up here shortly for some of these drivers as well. Marquez pitted around 23 laps ago, getting around Luke Farrell to get his lap back from him as he comes far down pit lane. Clemens still yet to hit. Trying to go on a longer run here, make it shorter in the second half of this one. Far down pit lane. Nicholas him on stone pit lane. Must have got a speeding penalty for him. Aaron Brown joined Kuntz side by side. This is for the race lead once everyone cycles through. But Aaron Brown gained through lap traffic. Older drivers. There goes Lucas Strayer. Hit the outside wall, I believe, and down into the grass he goes. He does save it though. Look, we just saw Douglas Newby on those way older tires in the way of Aaron Brown. Side by side with Jordan Kuntz. As Kuntz now gets back around Brown to try to pull away. Is about 3 lap pressure tires than him. As Douglas comes out pit lane. Gets around Drake as well, moves himself into third for now, as the only drivers ahead of him is Jack Clemens right there. Could get his lap back as Lucas Scherer has not pitted yet so far here tonight. So two drivers have yet to pit, Clemens and Lucas Scherer. We'll see when Clemens decides to pit, as we're 38 laps to go in this one. As here comes Clemens down pit lane, gotta make sure he does not speed in a major overcut here. Went 64 laps on those tires. He's gonna have 36 laps to go when he gets back on the racetrack to try to reel in Jordan Kuntz. Into his stall now, taking 4 tires like everyone else has. Lucas Scherer now also into the pit box as well. There goes Jack Clemens off the racetrack. He's gonna cycle out into 9th. So much time he can get on these drivers up ahead as Lucas Scherer in pit lane as Jordan Kuntz now takes back his race lead here with 35 to go. Lucas Scherer off the pit stop as well. For the 8th place as battle for 3rd, heating up Luca Faro and Dakota Lee. As Faro looking for that top 3 spot over Lee right now. There's about 8 lap first tires in the 3 machine up ahead. Side by side into turn 1 and 2. Faro got easily clear Dakota Lee for 3rd. Moves himself back in the top 3 spot. As we'll see where Jack Clemens can cycle out after his 33 lap run. If we stay green the whole way, I think he can make his way up to maybe the top 4, up to 4th place at least. He's around 8 seconds back from Luca Faro, who's in 3rd. And he's around 10 seconds back from Aaron Brown. He's around a second quicker than Brown and LaFaro, so I think at this rate he can maybe catch up to those drivers and maybe get to the top 3 spot, maybe up to 2nd even as he gets around Brian Perry easily. He's up to 6th. Comes now 2.3 seconds behind Douglas being in 5th. With 30 laps to go, we do a little aileron crank it up here on lap 71 out of 100. As Luke Guevara is caught up, they around for second as they're side by side entering turn 1 and 2. As there goes LaFar, gonna do a little crossover move there. Waits for Brown to move up the racetrack a little bit now to the inside in 1 and 2. As they continue the battle, Jack Clemens in the distance here, about 3 seconds back, moved himself in the top 5 spot over Dakota Lee. He's right there in the background as well. With 24 laps to go, it's plenty of time for him to catch up to these two drivers battling for second and maybe join the party here. Faro back to the inside. Can he finally make it work in 3 and 4? So these two drivers make contact early into night races. Aaron Brown on the outside wall. Gotta allow LaFaro to get enough of a run off of turn 4. He's gonna clear for seconds. And during turn 1 and 2, looks like LaFaro gonna stay ahead for now. But Jack Clemens currently 4/10 score for these drivers up ahead. With 22 laps to go, it's gonna be hard to keep him at bay. As there goes Clemens to the inside, Doug Sneebiggy. He's going to clear there for 4th now. As Aaron Brown right up ahead for him as Chris Sawyer hits the pit lane. There were 20 laps to go. As easily clearing Brown as Brown gives him the spot there. Side by side for 4th place, Aaron Brown. Doug Sneebiggy. Brown's really used up his tires there as he's down to 5th place now. And Sneebiggy makes the pass there as yes he will off of turn 2. Now look for under attack from Jack Clemens. As they go easily clear there. And 18 laps to go. Rockingham has around a 7.5 second lead over Jack Clemens. Clemens has gained around half a second a lap. At this rate, he will catch him if he can maintain this pace during these next 17 laps. He'll catch him around 14 laps or so. Question is, can he maintain the pace at this rate? Now they got now 6.1. What we can do here is Doug is moving it now to the back bumper of Luca Farrell. Can he get around this top 3 spot? Not quite as they almost make contact up to turn 4 there. Looks to be very loose on the entry of turn 1. Sideways there. Almost in Luca Faro on the entry. Faro stays ahead here with 14 to go. It's going to be tough for him to hang on. As Clemens continues to close the gap on Jordan Kuntz up ahead. He's going to be really fighting that race car right now. Got third place spot up ahead. Looks like Malachi Drake could get around there at the beginning. That allows Luke Faro now to pull just a little bit of cushion now. Malachi Drake and Luke Faro. Clemens continues to close the gap now. They got 4.3 over Jordan Kuntz. Kuntz has some lap traffic up ahead to work with. We'll see what happens here. Right now, looks like Jordan Kuntz might be under attack here late in this one. Closing laps of this race. Pretty much dominate all race so far here tonight. A little bit better pitch strategy for Jack Clemens could play a factor in who wins tonight's race. Under 10 laps to go, single digits now. Got 4.1 seconds entering turn 1. Clemens gets another half a second over Jordan Kuntz that time by. Faro and New Beginning battling out as Faro hits the outside wall for turn 2. Got New Beginning to the inside lane, not quite as he slides the tires and enters turn 3. As Faro stays ahead for now. Faro's still managing to stay ahead for now. Go back up to Jack Clemens and Jordan Kuntz. Gap now 2.5 seconds. Lap traffic up ahead for Jack Clemens. Right now, he's going to be very close to the end if he can make it. Up to Jordan Kuntz's back bumper. Five laps to go, now 4 laps to go. Jordan Kuntz now has a 2-second lead. Right now, I think if he can just hang on, manage his pace right now, he'll end up with a victory here tonight. Clemens kind of ran out of steam there at the end. Valvatord's still heating up as Luke Faro is still managing to stay ahead of Douglas New Beginning. For his top 3 spot, New Beginnings has some chances there. He just slid his tires a little bit on the entry of these corners to try to get around him. He really sends into turn 3 and 4. Up the racetrack he goes, going around the outside lane. Car stays bottom. Like he has all night long. New Beginning with a good run off of turn 4. It's 2 laps to go this time by. And New Beginning maybe get to the top 3 spot. Off of turn 4, Jordan Kuhn's going to take the white flag here tonight. Jack Clemens 1.5 seconds back from him. Won't matter too much as long as he can just maintain his pace and no lap cars ahead of him. But the battle for third rages on. Douglas Newby, Luke Farrell. Single pile off of turn 2. As down to 3 and 4 as Jordan Kuhn's going to cross the line. He's going to win here at Rockingham. But Luke Farrell, Douglas Newby off for turn 4. It's going to be a dragger to the line. It's going to be Farrell barely getting Douglas Newby there at the line. But Jordan Kuntz wins here at Rockingham. As dominating performance here for Jordan Kuntz. Wins the pole and wins the race here tonight. Really, without question, he was the fastest car all night long. Thought for a second Jack Clemens maybe had a chance there late. Just not enough for him. They line up for the top 3. I'm going to take a quick look at our race results here tonight. And your race winner here tonight, Jordan Kuntz, Jack Clemens in second, Luke for third, Douglas Newby in fourth, Aaron Brown in fifth, Billy 6th, Lucas Scherer 7th, Brian Perry in 8th, Malcolm Drake 9th, Chris Sawyer in 10th, Nico Simons in 11th, Zachary Dorn 12th, Luke Peters 13th, Eric Keir 14th, Evan Jake 15th, Tyler Aspinall round out your 16 car field here tonight. Jordan Kuntz here to bring him into the booth here as a Rockingham winner. Oh, Jordan, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Pick up the win here tonight at Rockingham, won the pole, won the race. Walk us through your strategy there, pitted around the halfway point, and Clemens almost caught you there at the end, got down to 1.5 seconds. Were you any worried there at the end that he might get you in the last few laps?
So I did a league race about a week ago, and in that race the overcut wasn't really too powerful. So my strategy going into this race was try to get the lead and to try to maintain the lead. It was really hard to pass in the race last week, so I based my pit strategy on maintaining the lead, being in front of everybody else who pitted behind me, and the people who pitted later I was hoping wouldn't be as quick as they were. Jack was a lot quicker than I thought. Initially, I thought it was going to be really close if he maintained his pace from his first 25 laps after he pitted. It definitely would have been within half a second. I feel like the tires evened off towards the end, but it was a lot later than I was expecting. He definitely had a better strategy than me, but closer than I wanted it, but it was a win in the end.
Yep, and from pole to win, very good for you here tonight. And you got to pull the last 3 races, so maybe next week at Pocono you can go 4 in a row in the pole category at least.
Yeah, definitely will try to. Pocono, probably not the most important track to get pole position at, but
No.
pole position 4 in a row would always be nice.
Yeah, anyone I think for tonight's win?
I would like to shout out everyone at JRS Racing for all the work they do on the setups and helping me get tuned into the Rockingham last week and this week, and everyone at Premier Concrete Solutions for being able to put the sponsor on the car and get it to victory lane for the second time this season.
Yep, congrats on your win here tonight at Rockingham. We'll see you next week at Pocono.
Thank you.
As race winner Jordan Kuntz, there we go, bringing our second place finisher of Jack Clemens. Oh, Jack, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
You round yourself off in the second there. You almost had a chance maybe to catch Kuntz there, about 1.5 back, a little bit less than that. But talk us through your strategy. Try to stay as long as you can and overcut it as much as you can. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, so basically, like at that first run, I know I wasn't going to be able to outrun Jordan on pace. He was really, really fast tonight, and he just knew what he was doing around this track. So at a point, I said, okay. And after with how much the tire wear was, after I had ran about 3 or 4 laps longer than after he had pit, I kind of already made my bed. So I was going to run to lap 65 and then give myself a 15-lap tire advantage. And I mean, it ended up essentially kind of working out. When he pit, he was about 2.2 ahead of me. When the race was over, you said it was about 1.5 seconds. So it ended up netting positive. Just not enough laps left for me to be able to catch him. I was like, I think he said the tires kind of equalized with about maybe 12 laps to go. Where like, because at the first half of that run, I was pulling like 6-7 tenths a lap on him. But then towards the end, it kind of fell off as the tires equalized. But overall, it was a fun race at the end. And I wish I could have had a couple more laps to get up there. But no, he was the deserving guy to win.
Anyone like think for tonight's good run?
Commonwealth crew, my teammates at Proximity Racing, good night for us. And hopefully we can keep it going at Pocono.
Yep, see you next week at Pocono. Congrats on your second place here at Rockingham.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Jack Clemens, our second place finisher. We're bringing our third place finisher of Luke Lafaro. Pulling off Douglas Zumbi in there at the end by 42 thousandths of a second. Oh, Luke, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
So you round yourself off to third with a great battle between you and Douglas Zumbi in there at the end. Talk us through how you held him off for pretty much 15 laps there. He tried to get to you inside quite a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I basically was just praying there at the end. I mean, he is way faster than me. I mean, he pitted, I forgot how many laps he pitted after me. I think maybe 3 or 5, but I burned my stuff up way before then, battling with Aaron. And I was just praying, and I just got really lucky because Malachi inadvertently held them up, and it's just so hard to pass, especially on the bottom, and our tires weren't like too much of a difference to where he could just pass me on the bottom. So I just had to hold on and pray that he couldn't pass me, and he definitely almost got there. It was close, but I just didn't let him to my outside, and that's how I was able to hold him off.
Yeah, you had a good run here tonight. I believe you were involved in the first straightaway incident, I believe, as well. So, August, you just coming through the field after that incident, and just your mindset as well after that.
Yeah, I mean, the first wreck of the race was like on lap 1 on the start. I got some damage when they piled it up off of the wheel spin. It wasn't too bad. I was in the back, and then I got ran over one of the claps after that, and I didn't even think off the top I was possible, to be honest. But I put some tires on. I used my setup because I was like, you know what? There's no way they keep wrecking. There's only like 10 cars left in the field, and luckily it worked. So I was able to get back to the front, and I just kind of started saving my stuff and see what I could do with it. My car still has a little bit of damage, but it didn't affect me too badly.
Yeah, anyone like tonight's good run?
Just want to thank ABOC, all them drivers, even though none of them finished, they still supported me throughout the race. And thank to you, Talon, and the whole broadcast team for putting on a good broadcast tonight.
Yep, and we'll see you next week at Pocono. Congrats on your third place here tonight at
Yeah.
Rockingham.
Yeah, thank you.
Was your third place finisher of Luca Faro. That was a pretty fast race overall. I mean, we took around an hour, or less, a little less than an hour as well. So next week they go to Pocono, half-mile racetrack in Pennsylvania. So we will see you guys in here next on Wednesday night, Superstar Arca Cup Series. They go to, I believe, Bristol. Be a real interesting one there, a short track in Tennessee, and then you got Undisputed Cup Series, Legacy, Texas on Thursday night and Friday night. The opener for NAOR Cup Series at Auto Club. You got the Stampede Racing League at Sonoma, and also the 5 Points Racing League here tonight at Pocono next week, like I mentioned. So we will see you guys then. You guys for watching.